Hey YouTube land, I got here starting another action figure review, and this is for something I literally arrived today at the time of this recording, and that is the Wave 2 Masters of the Universe Scareglow. Now, I got this from Amazon UK. I wasn't expecting it till Wednesday, at least that's what it said on the shipping notification, that it was arriving Wednesday. Apparently arrived today, so here he is. So before I get on to this guy in all his awesome glory, here is the box. I left the comic in the box. I kind of did rip open the box, but you have these name, includes comic, then it's in several different languages. The Mattel logo, Masters of the Universe, Scareglow name. Flipping around to the back of the box, you got a really cool artwork of Adam and Clamp Champ versus Scareglow. Now, I'm not too familiar with Scareglow. I never had the original figure. I know it's a glow-in-the-dark figure, as indicated by its action features. You have other characters in the way, which is He-Man, Many-Faces, Orko, Skeletor, Trapjaw, and Scareglow. If I can find it, although I think I might have put it somewhere else. No, I did. Is this something of interest? Is on the card back for this one. They actually have names on the card back for Many-Faces. I'm sure, not 100% certain. I'll have to check my video for it, but I'm sure it only had numbers instead of names. It didn't actually have character names, which is interesting. And then you got all the legal mumbo jumbo stuff. And that's pretty much it for the box. It does come with this packing comic. Again, it's exactly the same. Oh, you also get a whole list of instructions of what to do about the glow-in-the-dark feature. Do not expose this product to intense heat or direct sunlight for long periods of time. Otherwise, it'll make the plastic brittle and it could end up breaking. That kind of stuff. You have the comic, which is basically the exact same one that came with Many-Faces. So, pretty much the story is Many-Faces, Skeletor, or Many-Faces, He-Man, and Orko are trying to get into the castle. Skeletor kidnaps Orko, then disguises himself as Orko. You know, good guys versus bad guys, basically. And on the back, you have all the characters. In fact, do I have the comic book for... Yeah, that's the one that came with Many-Faces. As you can see, it's identical, so there's no difference. But on to the main attraction, which is this guy himself. So, he is constructed the same way as all the other Masters of the Universe Origins line figures. Now, the only figure I brought over with me to do a comparison with is Skeletor, mainly because he uses pretty much the entire construction of Skeletor. So if I bring in Skeletor here, Skeletor, you can see the arms are the same. He even has the same outstretched hand. Main differences is the head, cloak. He even has the same loin cloth piece, same feet, except Scareglow's is done in a darker purple than Skeletor's. So, also his waist piece is done in purple, a dark purple instead of black like Skeletor's. But from what I know, well, my brief kind of history of the character, he's supposed to be a version of Skeletor that was trapped within the walls of Grayskull and is kind of protecting it, kind of thing. I could be wrong. I could be completely way off base. I know he has something to do with protecting Grayskull or being associated with Grayskull, mainly because in the original lineup of figures, his weapon, which is this thing, which you also get a version of with the vintage Grayskull, was supposed to be like a key. You could use it as a key for Grayskull. So you'd pop it in and you kind of twist it to lock. Now, I'm not sure if we can do it with the new one, but you'd push it in and twist it one angle to lock the gate. It'd lock the door, and do the opposite direction to open it. No, is it this way? But it's a very gummy plastic, so it mightn't work. So if I can get the door to pop down. So basically the idea was you push it in and acts as a key, and there Scareglow could take charge. Actually, see if I can charge him up a bit. You might be able to see him glowing a bit inside there. It's not the best, but you can see. Let's see if we can charge up his charge glow from the lamp that I have. The LED lamps kind of charge him up a bit, but I did have him really charged up earlier on when he was in sun for like literally a couple of seconds, and he glows quite well. So I'm not sure if that's showing him off that much if I put my hand out of the way of the lens, but you can see him slightly glowing. So he does have that feature. His weapon is in a neon green. I'm pretty sure that's the same way the original one came as well. So, but as far as I know, it was supposed to act as a key to Castle Grayskull. So articulation wise, he has standard articulation as a Masters of the Universe Origins. So he has a waist swivel. He has legs can kind of kick forward about that much, so you can get him into a slightly seated position. He has a single joint in the knees, a swivel in the knee joint. I would stress to be careful when you first get him. The joints tend to be quite tight on him. He does have boot cut. Again, these guys are designed to be taken apart, so I really wouldn't do it too much with this guy because he's made of a translucent sort of, you know, glow-in-the-dark plastic compared to the others. So he might get far more brittle the more times you take him apart. So I'm not sure if you can even see that, but his head is on a ball joint, so you get a good range of movement on it. You can pop his head off, and you can pop the cloak off, and you can have him without the cloak, so he just looks like a glow-in-the-dark skeleton man. His eyes are painted. They're quite nicely painted as well. If I can just charge him up, you can see the eyes are red. So you can see his head slightly glowing. He has a crack down the side of his skull as well. His arms, as I said, are on those connection joints that plug in, so you can go 360. He has 360 on the elbow, and it goes up and down on a single joint, where it can rotate. His hands can also rotate and have hinges. So as I said, he's pretty much the same construction as Skeletor, and pretty much most basic Masters of the Universe figures, when you boil down and take off all the gear and stuff like that, they're generally this kind of construct, except for he has kind of webbing hands, you know, the arms with the fins on the side, as opposed to kind of more natural, a more natural kind of humanoid hand or wrist. He can hold other people's weapons just nicely, so you can hold Skeletor's Havoc Staff if you want him to. You can actually even hold the Power Sword. This is the only one I have that came with Skeletor, which is the half Power Sword that comes with both Skeletor and He-Man. But you can, because he reuses the same parts as Skeletor, you can get him to hold that. His cloak is nicely sculpted as well. I'm not too sure on the original one. As I said, I've never had the original, but I'm not sure if the original one had a soft goods cloak or if it was solid as well. But this one is a solid plastic, so it's not too bad. I kind of would have liked it if they could have pulled off a soft goods. It would have probably looked good. I mean, don't get me wrong, this almost looks like it was soft goods. Like in the promotional pictures, it's very hard to tell. But when you get it in hand, you can tell that it's not a, you know, it's a solid cloak. It's not a material piece. The one thing I will say about his weapon, it is a gummy plastic, but again, just like with Adam, the issue I had with Adam's one is that it's very wide. The actual handle part is very wide for the hands, so this does have a tendency to pop out of the hand every now and again. But you can get him holding it with kind of two-handed poses, so it's not too bad. Also, I think it would have been cooler if they'd given him 2 grip hands, so he could do two-handed poses a little bit better with it, the halberd. But I get why they went with the open hand, because it's originally what the original figure had. So, because as I said, it was basically a clear plastic or clear glow-in-the-dark plastic version of Skeletor himself. But if you have other stuff, other weapons, just like this, I have the gun from Castle Grayskull. You can, if I don't destroy everything while I'm trying to do it, he does wield it. Now this Grayskull that I have, the Castle Grayskull that I have, is secondhand, and whoever had it before me, as you can see, started painting some of the bits on it, so that's why it might look a bit weird. But he can do that, and he can fit some vehicles. Now for most of the vehicles you'll have to take the cloak off, but just for because he's almost a color match for him, and it looks cool, and it's an evil horsey. I'm not sure if this guy's an evil character or a good character. Again, not knowing too much about the character, I had a feeling he's sort of neutral good kind of thing. He's neither evil nor bad. He's just kind of a neutral character. But you can see he can fit characters or creatures like Stridor, or not, Night Stalker, which is the evil version of Stridor. Just move him out of the way. I do have the new version of the Sky Sled. He can fit that quite nicely. You can actually still have the cloak on him for this, because the back is open on it. Just get his hand onto the handlebar. And pop his head off. Unfortunately, the cloak won't look like it's flowing in the wind, but you don't really need to worry about that. But if I just bring up the camera again, you see you can fit the Sky Sled pretty nicely. So overall, he's a really good figure. He should be available on Amazon.com.co.uk at the moment. I think in the States they're in Walmart. They're exclusive Walmart at the moment. I have a feeling that's supposed to change later on. So it's not, the line is kind of like a exclusive, timed exclusive, I think is what they're called. So they're exclusive to Walmart for a certain period of time, and then they become open to all retailers. We are supposed to be getting them to Smiths in Ireland. They are in some of the Toy Masters here in Ireland. I'm not sure which ones. I've seen the one in, it's a the one up in Dublin has them. In fact, they actually had this guy. They had Wave 2 figures and Wave 1 figures together at the same time. At the time of this recording, obviously. So, overall, he is pretty cool. And because I almost forgot, just bring in the old tape measure. So you can see he stands around the 5.5. Little taller when you have the legs, the knees stretched out perfectly. But if you get him into the kind of classic He-Man style figure squat pose, he will stand perfectly at the 5.5 mark. So you see he stands 5.5. Also, forgot to mention, ankles are on rocker joints, and they have foot pegs as well. So there you go, guys. There is a quick video review for Scareglow. Fortunately, I can't really do his glow gimmick that well with this recording equipment that I have. I'd have to, because I don't have actually lights here, I'm using kind of standard lights, but even if I take that away, it's still too bright out for them to be able to see the glow gimmick. But you could see it slightly when I had him inside in Grayskull. So there you go, guys. He's a cool figure. The only thing I would say about him is, if you do get him, just be wary of a few things. The plastic becoming brittle over time. The paint deco on them might get rubbed off the more you use them, because it is just paint over a kind of translucent body. So like, obviously the more you play with them, the more wear and tear you'll get. So there is that to factor in. If you want them just to have mint on card, then he should be good. Or if you just want them to display them, then he should be good for that. But if you want to do multiple poses and stuff like that, just be wary over time. You could rub off some of the paint on him. So far, I don't have any issues with the paint on mine, but that doesn't mean there's others out there that will have, you know, QC issues and stuff like that. So just be wary. There you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video review. And as I say in my videos, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Cheers.